Hello everyone, my name is Cuma Aydoğdu. Today I will share my information about the internal structure of words and process of word information. So let's start. This is my overview. During this lesson I will talk about morphemes, type of morphemes, allomorphs and morphemic rules, process of word formation, and lastly idioms. Let's start with morphemes. A morpheme is the smallest unit of language that contains of meaning. Morphemes isn't necessarily equivalent to standalone words. That is to say, words like headphones or ringleader can be deconstructed into individual morphemes such as head, phone, ring, lead, ear, and s. Some of these morphemes can stand alone as words, while others are only meaningful when attached to other morphemes. Morphemes are indivisible, possess internal stability and external transportability, and exhibit positional mobility within various contexts. Morphemes are represented within curly braces. Let's talk about type of morphemes. There are two main types of morphemes, lexical and grammatical. Lexical morphemes associated with major word classes such as nouns, verbs, adjective, adverbs, uh, etc. Express dictionary meaning and can be open categories for new members. They can exist as independent words or a part of the word. In contrast, grammatical morphemes express limited but crucial meaning within a sentences, are associated with specific grammatical functions and don't allow new additions. These morphemes can exist as inflectional affixes or in minor word classes. Morphs, on the other hand, are phonetic forms representing morphemes, but zeromorphs have no tangible expression. Distinction helps in understanding how morphemes are realized as morphs, and different types of morphs exist based on their form and distributions. Uh, we can make a broad distinctions between two types of morphemes. Free morphemes can stand by themselves as single words, for example, Neve and Tour. On the other hand, bound morphemes cannot normally stand alone, and they are typically attached to another form such as re, east, ed, and s. In here, for example, bonds morphemes separate between each other into derivational and inflectional. Derivationals like bond morphemes separate each other between each other prefixes and suffixes. Let's talk about uh, let's talk about affixes and how they differ from roots. Affixes don't carry the central meaning, are always bound to root, and possess limited potential for substitution. They are classified as prefix and suffix in English. While some languages incorporates infix, they are generally used in modern English for humor purposes. Derivational affixes can convert part of speech or alter the meaning of the root, while inflectional affixes indicate grammatical features like tense or number. Derivational affixes precede inflectional ones in the word structure, so we can say that all affixes and suffixes in English are bound morphemes. Allomorphs and morphemic rules. The concept of allomorphs related to the various of morpheme. Allomorphs represent the different phonetic realizations or members of a particular morpheme classes. While these variations share similar meanings and are distributed in a way that each form occurs in different context or position, they may not necessarily exhibit phonological similarities. Morphemic rules, on the other hand, are linguistic guidelines governing the structure and formation words. through their constituent parts called morphemes. These rules outline how morphemes are combined to form words. Morphemes can be classified in two categories: free morphemes and bound morphemes. Morphemic rules specify how these morphemes can be combined to create new words, establish word forms, or alter the meaning of existing words. Now I will talk about process of word formation. Word formation means formation of new words. Actually, new words can be formed through various processes. So let's explore some of the basic process. I will talk about firstly derivation. Derivation is formation or creation of new words by adding suffix and or prefix. And these occur a large number of small bits of the English language. These small bits are generally described as affix. It is the most common word formation process in production of new words. Suffixes are added to the end of the word. On the other hand, prefixes are added to the beginning of the word. When a derivational affix is added to root, it results in changes within the new word, which may involve phonological changes, orthographic, semantic transformations, and alterations. In word formation, suffixes commonly, on the other hand, alter the word class of the root. These changes can be categorized as follows: nominalizers, verbalizers, adjectivalizers, and adverbalizers. Second, reduplication. Reduplication is a word formation process where the initial syllable or the whole word is repeated either identically or with slightly phonological changes. In English, it is not a frequent method, often found in children's language or for humorous or ironic expression. There are three types: exact reduplication, words like papa, mama, and phrases like so-so or hush-hush repeated the exact syllable or word. Ablaut reduplications. Here, vowels change while consonants are repeated, seen in words like crisscross or mismatch. And rhyme reduplication. The consonant in here change while the vowel remains the same, as in phrase like hot pot or razzle dazzle. Reduplication serves various purposes. It can convey disfragment, intensification, diminishing, onomatopoeia, all alternations, among other functions. 3. Conversion or functional shift. Functional shift, also known as conversion, involves altering the part of the speech of a word without adding suffix, mainly by changing stress patterns. It's a common process in English where words transform from one class to another. For example, verb to noun, noun to verb, adjective to verb. When a word is converted, it can adopt inflections of its new classes. The semantic shift in this conversion can vary widely. This conversion enables actions to become easily countable or abstract concepts to transform into entities. For compounding. Compounding means that combining combinations of two different words. The combinations can be noun plus noun, adjective plus noun, adjective plus adjective. For example, textbook means noun plus noun. Best friends means adjective plus noun, and good looking adjective plus adjective. Blends. Blends are a form of word formation that marks two separate words by clipping a part of one word and combining it with the beginning or end of another. They are also known as portmanteau words. For example, smoke, oak, plus fog, f. It's smoke. Back formation. Back formation involves speakers deriving a simpler word from a more complex one by removing what they perceive to be derivational or inflectional elements. This is often based on common patterns in English. In this process, form of the words changes. For instance, verbs such as sightsee from sightseer, babysit from babysitter, or typewrite from typewriter are created by eliminating and assumed suffixes typically used to form nouns from verbs. Shortening involves various forms of word reductions, including acronyms, intellism, and clipped forms. These methods all entail removing sound segments from words without necessarily adhering to morphological boundaries. In here, I will talk about clipping, acronyms, and initialism. Let's talk about first clipping. This process involves intentionally eliminating part of a word while maintaining the same meaning and the word classes. It can occur at the beginning, end, or both ends of a word. For instance, example include advert for advertisement, burger for hamburger, or X for ex-husband. Acronyms and initialism. These are the extreme forms of clipping where the initial letters of words in a phrase are pronounced as a word or as a individual letters. For example, White Anglo-Saxon protest means WASP, NATO, World Atlantic Treaty Organizations. These forms are distinct in how they are spoken. Acronyms are pronounced as words, while initialism are spoken by naming each other. And lastly, root creation. Root creation is the least common method of the word formations and involves inventing entirely new root morphemes. Brands names are typical example of this, like Xerox or Oreo. Our last topic is idioms. Idioms are fixed phrases that function as a single unit and are both syntactically and semantically conventionalized. They include express like spill the beans, stab logs, shoot the breeze. Idioms actually don't allow much variations in their wording, and changing them usually leads to a literal interpretations rather than the intended meaning. The meaning of idioms isn't always predictable from their individual words and often carries metaphorical or proverbial connections. They are emotionally charged and commonly colloquial. While some idioms allow minor syntactic modifications, others remain less flexible and making their treatment within the language structure a topic of debate because of the varying degrees of idiomatically they display. Thank you for listening to me. See you next week.